Okay, well, hello everybody. I'm John Van Dersen. I've got my business partner Joe Mohammed on the call with me here today. We'd like to welcome all of the impactors, all the guests from around the world for our first global building training call. And we've got a real special call lined up for you here today, so we're going to jump right into it. Now, just so you know where I'm coming from, I'm a farm boy here from southern Alberta up here in Canada. I stumbled into this world of relationship marketing about 25 years ago. And I'll tell you, I loved the concept as soon as I saw it. Now, it all sounded great, but I really didn't have a clue what I was supposed to do. And I'm sure there's a few of you on the line that can relate to that. So, what I decided to do, I was going to find out what the most successful people were doing, and I was going to copy it. And that's what I did. I did exactly that, and I had success too. But the problem was, it was pretty complicated. See, a lot of people just couldn't do it because they had to learn so much and they had to explain so much. So, what I did is I developed some simple ways that people could share with other people. I put together a system that everybody could use to do the explaining for them and to get the results that they were looking for. Once I put that system into play and started using those tools, things literally changed overnight. Not only for myself, but for a lot of people that I was working with. And the end result is I've built now 3 different global teams of over 200,000 people. Now, Joe, you're on the line here. Let me ask you, how has using the tools and the systems that we put in place worked for you?
Well, John, that's a good question. I mean, I met you probably over 20 years ago. One of the things that, believe it or not, guys, when I started the industry, I met John. John had a simple system. I followed it, and I was able to do the same thing. Now, you know that this cannot happen by fluke or by luck. It's done by purpose. When we say the system is there for people to use, so you don't have to do the explaining, the telling, the selling. You just basically have them watch the video or send them to the information. If that's all you understand in this call, you will be very, very successful. I'll tell you guys, I was green. I didn't have much experience in the industry. John Van Dersen showed me exactly what systems do, and I remember this vividly from 22 years ago. He goes, Joe, just be like a traffic cop. Direct people to the information and watch your paycheck grow. And I've been doing this ever since. We've built some businesses together. We've kind of went apart. I built my own thing, but I've always used the same exact philosophy. Now you guys have one of the best trainers in the world that will show you exactly, if you follow this exact formula, you'll be successful. Absolutely, John. I can't say enough about the system. I'm probably your top student right here on this call.
You betcha, Joe. Exactly. You followed it to a T, and that's what it's all about. So that's what we're going to do today, guys. We're going to share with you exactly how we did it, exactly how we do it. If you copy it, you're going to get the results you want, because we're going to give you a precise roadmap to take you from where you are right at this moment to where you want to be. We don't care what your past experience is. It's completely irrelevant. If you follow this plan and you take action, you're going to win. So first off, let's talk about timing. Frank and Hans launched Impact 101 1 month ago with zero fanfare. There was no pre-launch nonsense where companies go out and hype a bunch of people and try to get them to send money so they could finish building a company. Impact 101 is a real company. They launched it ready to go. Nobody knew it was coming, and then we went to work. We started exposing people to this. And in 1 short month, now we have members in 98 different countries in the world. That's over half the countries in the world. Now, that's a sign of what the world thinks of what we have here, because that's never been done in this arena before. Now, the great part is most of the world doesn't even have a clue that we exist yet, but that's changing rapidly. So the thing that you need to understand, you're in on the front end of something absolutely massive. Timing is in your favor. All you have to do is decide how much of this enormous pie you want, and let's go out and get it. So let's show you how you can seize the moment and capitalize fully. Number one, I want to ask you a very important question. Why are you here? What's your why? What do you want to accomplish? Now, maybe it's to help with the family bills. Maybe it's to put a child through college. Maybe it's to start a new business or support a cause that you care about. Whatever it is, be very, very specific about what your why is and what you're looking to do. You need to lock that in your mind, and you need to remind yourself of it very often. Because, see, what we do here is really simple, but it's not always easy. And it's your why that's going to drive you to keep reaching out to people and to go the extra mile in helping your team, because you're absolutely clear on why you're doing it. So the next question after that is, what's your commitment? You've got a strong why, so now what's your commitment to go out and get it? There has to be a balance between your why and what you're prepared to do to make it happen. The bigger your why is, the bigger your commitment needs to be. You can't say, I want to raise this huge amount of funds and I have 10 minutes every third Monday to work on it. It just doesn't work that way. Do you have 2 hours a week to put towards it? Do you have 2 hours a day, 10 hours a day? Only you know the answer to that, but be very honest with yourself about what kind of time you can commit to this, then make that commitment and stick to it no matter what, because it's your commitment to following through on it that's going to make your why happen. Now, a great thing about the system we're going to show you in just a couple minutes here is you can build effectively just using 2-minute segments. Okay, so the next thing to understand is what our role is here. Our role is simply to expose people to some high-powered information and sort them out. We are sorters. We don't sell, we don't convince, we don't chase anybody. We just sort people. The more people we sort, the bigger our team becomes. So the first thing you're probably thinking, well, who do we sort? Well, the answer is everybody that we possibly can. Everybody you've ever had contact with and everybody you ever come in contact with. It's everybody. So what you do is you make a list of everybody you can think of and you add to it daily. And one by one, you're going to take them through the system and sort them out. Now, at the same time, we're going to sort everybody who comes near us. Now, I know you're thinking that's a little crazy running this past total strangers, but I'll tell you what, it's a lot easier than you might think, and it can lead to some big results. One of the biggest producers I ever had on my team was the clerk at the grocery store. I sorted her out while I was getting my food, and she got the picture. Another time, I met a guy on a ferry from Victoria to Seattle. I sorted him out, he got it, he built a huge team. All it takes is just coming out of your comfort zone a bit and knowing what to say. And we're going to share that with you here in just a couple minutes. Now, the first rule of sorting is never, ever prejudge anybody. We have no idea what's going on in their lives, and we have no clue if this would be for them or not. We just don't know. And I can tell you it can be a very costly mistake when you try and guess, because it's the worst feeling in the world when you decided that a particular person wasn't going to be interested in this, and 2 weeks later they call you to tell you about it. It's not a fun moment. So you don't want that to happen to you. And even more importantly, we don't know who they know. What if they knew a Duncan Wood? Or what if they knew a Delon Henniger or a Rebecca Barrett or a Joel Muhammad or someone like that, and we made the mistake of not even telling them? Let's face it, we just don't know. So all we do, we simply put them all through the system one by one. We let the system sort them out for us. So now you need to understand there's only two things that we can control when sorting people: how many people we sort and how good of a message we give them. The rest of it is completely up to them and the timing in their lives. It has nothing to do with us whatsoever. If the timing is right, you won't be able to keep them out with a stick. If the timing's wrong, you won't be able to drag them in. So we just focus on the part that we can control. telling a lot of people and using the system to power sort them for us. Now, the mission when you're sorting is, of course, to get answers. So there are three possible answers that you can get when you're sorting people. First answer is yes. Well, that's the best answer, obviously. The second answer is no. And to me, that's the second best answer. Why? Because now I know. I can move on. The worst answer for me is those maybes. Because, some of the maybes are legit and they might need to look a little deeper. But I usually find for the most part, a lot of the maybes are just no's who haven't told me no yet. You don't want to delude yourself into thinking that all those maybes are still in the game just because they haven't said no yet. And certainly don't spend all your time endlessly reaching back out to all of them. Cut a bunch of those maybes loose. Use your time effectively to talk to new people. You're going to have a lot more fun and you'll get more results. So it's all about getting answers. The person with the most answers has the biggest team. It's straight up math. So when you look at it that way, it really doesn't matter what any individual answer is. You just want to be getting a lot of answers. And when you're doing that, you'll get a bunch of yeses. You'll also get a bunch of no's. Who cares about the no's? It had nothing to do with you. The timing just wasn't right for them. So I always tell people, you want to be like the waitress at the coffee shop. She comes out with the coffee pot. She comes around to every table. Would you like more coffee? Yes, I would. Here you go. Would you like more coffee? No, I don't. Okay, no problem. She just moves on to the next table. When someone tells her no, she doesn't run in the back room and cry her eyes out. She just moves to the next table and asks them. See, her mission is to sort the whole room to see who wants coffee and who doesn't. You want to be like her, and you don't want to get tied to any individual answer. Joel, anything you'd like to add on sorting before we get into the system here?
Actually, yeah, real quick. So I was going to just say that one of the biggest philosophies that I've learned years and years ago, coming from John and from other leaders in the industry, is the less you say, the more you make. Okay, so John's going to talk about the system here in a second. But what the biggest thing for me was I learned this, that professionals sort, amateurs sell. So you find a lot of people that will do exactly what amateurs do. Amateurs will try to sell people. Professionals will sort them out. And that's what we're trying to get you guys to understand, that become a professional. When you become a professional, you have fun prospecting, you have fun talking to people, you have fun because you're in control. When it becomes hard, or you're caught up on the answer, the yes or the no or the maybe, then that's when you know that you're not enjoying this. I enjoy prospecting because I sort. I move really fast. John moves really fast. We don't care. We just want a yes or a no, or we move on, and that's it. So the biggest thing is amateurs sell, professionals sort. Remember that. It's one of the biggest lessons I learned. It just made my life a lot easier doing what I do right now. It's awesome. Thanks, John.
You bet. Very, very good point, Joe. Okay, so let's talk about the system and why it's so important. Now, the first thing to know is that people are going to evaluate any opportunity based on three different things. One, does it make sense? Two, will it work for me? And three, can I do this? So think about this. If you just spend an hour talking somebody into a coma about this, they may see that it makes sense. They may see that it could work for them, but they're never going to be able to see themselves doing what you just did. The difference with the system is all we do is say a couple sentences and we direct them to the videos. So when they evaluate it, then they say, hey, I can do what you just did, and they can. Because you see, the most valuable commodity in what we do is duplication. You want people to be able to duplicate. Well, to get duplication, you have to be duplicatable. It's critical because you may be so good that you can stand on your head on the street corner and juggle 3 plates with 1 foot and bring people in all day. Well, here's the problem. Nobody else can do that. So that means there's never going to be any duplication for you. But if you say a few sentences and get them watching the videos, everybody can do what you just did. Now you can get the duplication that you want. So let's talk about how to use the system with people that we know first. Okay, all I do, I just reach out to as many people as I possibly can in any way that I can. Now, phone always works the best, but I also do it with personal messages on Facebook, texting, Skype, WhatsApp, however I can reach people. And all I do, I just ask them something simple. Could you use some more money? The reason I ask is I found something really special that's working very well for a lot of people. I don't know if it'd be for you or not, but if I send you a couple short videos that explain it, would you be open to having a look? Let's say that one more time. Could you use some more money? The reason I ask is I found something really special that's working very well for a lot of people. I don't know if it would be for you or not, but if I sent you a couple of short videos that explain it, would you be open to having a look? Okay, so now comes the moment of truth, because they're going to ask you, what is it? Here's where you have to show amazing restraint, because you're going to be excited. You're going to want to launch into this huge tirade of what it is. Don't do it, because number one, the videos are going to explain it far better than you ever possibly could. And number two, you don't want them thinking that they're going to have to explain it to somebody. So tell them nothing more, because you want the tools to do the work. All I say at that point, the videos explain it much better than I can. I'm going to send them now. When can you watch it? You may have to say that 3 or 4 times, but it's critical that you stand your ground. You want to create the curiosity, and you want the system to do the work for you. So now you send the links to your mobile landing page and the website, and you direct them to watch videos 1 and 2. They've told you when they can watch them, so you want to follow up right after that. They're probably going to have a few questions for you. This is a fantastic time to bring on your inviter or one of your team leaders to do a 3-way call with them. You can get their questions answered. You can show them that there's people there to support them as well. And you can also plug them into some of the other recorded calls on the site so that they can get the big picture on the global movement that's happening here. Always just use the tools. So now they either get it or they don't. Remember, we're just sorting them out. We're not out to try and close somebody. If you find yourself trying to close somebody, you're certainly doing it wrong. We're looking for people who get it. So if they got it and they're ready to get started, I like to ask them 2 questions. Number 1, are you ready to make your donations immediately when you join? And number 2, are you ready to start sharing this with people right away? See, I want to make it real crystal clear to them, this isn't a spectator sport. This is about people taking action. If they say no to either one of those 2 questions, I tell them it's best they wait until they're ready to do both of those things. If they say yes, then I get them signed up and I immediately get them engaged. Now, Joe's going to talk about how to do that in a few minutes here, and he'll tell you exactly how to go through that process. So now let's talk about the people we don't know. How do we sort those people out? Well, to me, this is one of the most fun things that we do, because see, we all come in contact with tons of people every day, just doing what we normally do. Imagine if we could sort all of those people out along the way too. Imagine how many more people we'd be exposing. Well, it's pretty simple to do it. Here's how you go about it. First off, you have what I call the slow sort and the fast sort. And you're going to choose the one that works for your situation. Now, the slow sort is for somebody that you've met, and maybe you're going to be around them for a while, so there's no rush to get right to it. Maybe it's somebody you're sitting beside on an airplane, or maybe you're sitting beside them at the hockey game. So what I do with these people, I just chat away and I let it all happen naturally. I ask them a lot of questions about what they do, and eventually they're always going to ask me what I do. When they ask me that, I just say, I sort people. That's all I say. And I'll tell you what, they've never heard that before. They have to ask you another question. It's usually something like this. What the heck is that? Well, I tell them I sort out who's happy with where they're at and who could use more money. And again, they're going to ask you a question. Well, What do you mean? I just tell them, well, I've got something really special that's working very well for a lot of people. I don't know if it would be for you or not, but if I sent you a couple short videos that explain it, would you be open to having a look? And away it goes, taking them through the system. Now, the key with this is you want to immediately change the subject because they're going to keep asking you some questions. You just keep saying, hey, the videos explain it better than I can, and you start talking about something else. You want the system to do the work for you. So now let's talk about the fast sort. Okay, let's say you have a quick contact with somebody, so you have to get into the sort mode quickly. Maybe it's at the grocery store, maybe it's at the gas station, whatever it is. I just ask a simple question. Do you know anybody that could use more money? Well, when you ask someone that question, 9 out of 10 times they say, yes, me. So what do I say back? I've got something really special that's working well for a lot of people. I don't know if it would be for you or not, but if I sent you a couple of short videos that explain it, would you be open to having a look? And again, away we go through the system. See, the key to sorting people you just met is really just relax and have some fun with it. I treat it like a game. I don't put any pressure on myself, and I don't care what anybody says. The game for me is how many people I can sort, because if I know if I'm sorting, as Rick Ricketts always says, I'm going to find the people out there that are looking for me. And don't worry if you blow it. Don't worry at all about that. There's 7 billion more people out there. You get to try again in about 30 seconds. You'll get better at it as you go. Just come out of your comfort zone, make it a habit, and I can tell you, you'll find some absolute gems out there that you otherwise would have walked right by. It just comes down to running the numbers. It's all about getting eyeballs on the videos. The more people you expose and run through the system, the bigger your team gets. It's just very simple math. Okay, so your person has seen it, and now they've joined as a member. What do you do from there to get them going? Well, Joe's one of the best people I know for doing that. Joe, could you share how you get the brand new person engaged and how you get them thinking globally?
Absolutely. Thanks, John. So the biggest thing that I find in relationship marketing is the support that people don't give to their people. And I think that you have to think bigger than what you're actually doing. It's not about inviting somebody. It's not about getting them to sign up. What getting them to sign up isn't the work. The work is after the sign up. You guys probably heard this before. For me, the biggest part of my job is when somebody signs up. Now what we're going to do, we're going to start tap rooting. Tap rooting is I work through their people. I'm looking for a huge leader. And that's what I've done for years. So first thing I do is I go back to square one. What is your why? That's the first thing I asked my guy that came in. Number 2, your commitment level. I want to see where he's at. Number 3, let's get your list together. Put your list together. I started off with the 300 people on my list, and I just slowly chip away at it. Every single day I chip away at it. That's exactly what I tell them. And then I tell them exactly what John just said. Get them to the video. Once they come back, say, yeah, I'm interested. You may not have the answers because you're brand new. Guess what I'm here for? I'm here to answer the questions for you to learn. I'm here to help you and guide you. Believe me, this is easy. The videos that were created by Hans and Frank, they're made so that a lot of the questions are answered. So you're not having to do a ton of three-ways. One of the things that's amazing about our situation right now is we do not have a ton of people calling for three-way calls because the system is designed flawlessly as far as explaining how it all works. It's really that easy. So those are the biggest thing. Now, if you guys want to make a lot of money, you want to really build your cause and make an impact in the whole world, this is how you do it. You have to care for your people. I see it way too many times where people get signed up, they feel like they're orphaned. Where's my inviter? My inviter disappeared. I don't know where he is. Get involved with your people. Be responsible. That's one of the biggest things that I've learned in the industry a long time ago. My job does not start until that person signs up. That's the beginning of my work. This is so important to understand. Going out sorting, going out, sending people to the information, that's fun. For me, that's fun because I'm going, yes, no, are you in or are you out? Come on, let's go. It's an easy, for me, that's so easy. The work starts when I get somebody started. And remember, that's one of the biggest things for me. And then, like I said, I'm going to kind of explain to you guys, I kind of go deep with my organization. So I try to find out who's who, and, looking for the big leaders doing the same thing. And that's how you build a team. Now, globally, this is the other thing. This is huge. Now, when somebody gets started, get them to put a list. Who do you know? This is worldwide. This is global. Who do you know overseas? Who do you know in Asia? Who do you know in Australia, in the UK, in Europe? Who do you know? Let's do exact same system, and believe me, people come up with questions. How did we get to 98 countries in less than 30 days? How? By doing exactly what we're talking about. What we're doing right now, guys, is that we're not preaching, we are doing. We actually, myself and John, do this. A lot of our leaders do this. This is what we do. This is why it's working. So we want to teach everybody the same exact system. You want to take this to a bigger level. You want to make a lot more money. Do what we tell you. It's working. It's not preaching. We do exactly what we're teaching right here. Thanks, John.
All right, good stuff, Joe. Excellent words of advice. It's all about working with the team. If you focus on your team, it all comes back to you. Now, people often ask us, what are our goals? How many people do we want to invite? Well, one of the goals that we've always had is to personally invite 40 people. You see, from our experience, we've found that if you invite 40 people, roughly 25 of them are going to do a very little bit, and some of them aren't going to do anything. It's just the nature of it. You have to get used to that. 12 of them usually will be some serious part-time builders, and 3 of them will become huge builders and go crazy with it. It's just the way it always seems to work. We never know who those 3 will be, so we just keep sorting, and we know eventually they're going to emerge. Now, of course, we don't find our 40 in one day. We focus on finding the first one. We help them get going. Then we find the next one. We help them get going. We just keep chugging along. We do the same things day after day after day. And what do we do when we find our 40? We just keep doing the same simple things. We go find another 40. So we've always had tremendous success with doing what we call a 90-day blitz of building. It really accelerates the growth of your team in a short period of time. Joel, could you maybe fill us in on what a 90-day blitz is, how it works, and what you've seen happen with it before?
Absolutely, John. That's one of my specialties. Any business or any programs that I've ever been a part of, I always done a 90-day blitz. You guys might have heard of it. A 90-day blitz is basically going for 90 days, building your business, and I'll explain to you exactly how that works. Okay, I'll just give you a quick analogy. When an airplane takes off from the runway, what does it do? Does it put thrust at 20%, 30%, maybe 50% to take off? No, it doesn't. That's what most people do to build their businesses. They're at 20%, maybe 30, 40%. What I do, what John does, what a lot of top leaders do, and you see why they're doing so well, is they go 100%. They go 100% for a short period of time, like 90 days. And what I mean by 90 days, some people have full-time jobs. Some people don't have jobs. They do this all day. And what I say when I do a 90-day blitz, I mean, I go all out, massive action, head down, tail up, and I'm contacting, I'm sorting people all day long. And what happens to my business? It goes from 0 to hero in a period of a month. In a month, you can have 20, 30, 40 that you've actually invited that actually joined your business. It's one of those situations where if you do this one time, it could set you up for a very, very long time financially. It's an amazing way of doing it. And I'll explain the psychology behind a 90-day blitz. When I call somebody up and I've got a strong why, and I send them to the information, and then after the information they get back to me, what's going on? Hey man, I'm doing this 90-day blitz. Our team's exploding. We're all making money. It's like, what do people want to do? They don't want to miss a party. What do? They want to do what you're doing. They want to be part of that of that group, of that movement. That's what a 90-day blitz does. When we talk about commitment, when John talked about commitment was the biggest thing that people don't understand. Commitment, without commitment, you're gonna have a very hard time bringing anybody in, because people can sense it. People want to join with people that are fully engaged in your program or in Impact 101. It makes all the difference in the world when you're committed. A commitment is everything to people, and it's not something they have to speak. I'm committed. They can sense it, they can feel it. So you ask yourself these questions. Why do some people have no problem recruiting and some people have a lot of problem recruiting? I'll tell you, one of the biggest reasons is check and look yourself in the mirror and go, am I committed? Am I really committed? You change that, your whole life changes. That's what a 90-day blitz is. It shows 100% commitment. You're taking it from zero to hero in 90 days. And I'm telling you, yes, I've done this before where I've brought in 7 people and I started working deep with my organization. We had a group over 70,000 people in less than 90 days. Now, how does that happen? It's called commitment. It's selling the whole field on this movement. And I'm telling you guys, if anybody's sitting on this line here that needs more money, that's broke, that's not happy with their financial situation, believe me, this information that you're getting today is priceless. This will change your life. This 90-day blitz will change your life. Committed. I don't care if you have a full-time job, come home and do it. Do it for 2-3 hours. If you do 5 times what you've done right now, you're gonna do a huge impact in your life. I mean, it's just one of those big things that I've always been really passionate about. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, great stuff, Joe. You've always been the master of the 90-day blitz. And what we like to do when we do the 90-day blitz, we set a target. How many people are we going to sort every single day? How many are we going to take through the system? That's what you need to decide, and then you need to commit to it. Is it 1 person, 2 people, 5 people, 10 people? That's totally up to you. But whatever you decide, you need to commit to it, you need to be consistent with it, and you need to do it every single day. You don't get to go to sleep until you've done it for that day. Because if you say, oh, I'll do my 2 tomorrow, and then something comes up tomorrow, oh, I'll do 4 on the next day, guess what? By the day after that, you can't even spell the name of the company anymore. That's how it works. But when you're focused every day and you're committed to what you're doing, that's when you're going to get the results you're looking for. So just if you want, type in the chat. If you're in on the 90-day blitz, let's hear from you in the chat if you're going to do the 90-day blitz. So let's go on to the next slide. We're going to start winding this up. What we want you guys to understand is we have got the resources here to build with. Look at this video page, all the different languages that we have on the site. So you can reach out anywhere in the world. We've got all the support videos on there. We've got everything, all these recorded videos. This is going to be up, this training call on there. Everything is in place where, just like Joe said, you just have to be the traffic cop. Just direct the traffic to the tools. That's all we do. Never be the message, be the messenger, driving them to where they can get the information. Another great tool that we have is our Facebook page. Tremendous group of leadership, great community here, great tips. Make sure that you're on our Facebook group, okay? Now, we want to touch on, we always touch on these because they're so important. Let's have a look at the dashboard. Again, this is your nerve center. This is going to determine where you get to go and how fast you go there. The 6 boxes across the bottom, they're the most important ones here, because when they're lit up in color and they have a number in them, it means you got to do something. Get focused. So if this is my back office right here, I can see right away, I've got stuff I need to do. I've got a donation to send, and I've got unread messages. I need to get over there. So I go through those messages. This is our future, guys. This isn't a hobby. If this is a hobby, you're not going to get to where you want to be. This is your future, so pay attention to it. Those unread messages, we can communicate amazing things to you there, but only if you're checking your messages. For example, when this training call, the recording goes up, it's going to be right there immediately. You'll know about it immediately. You can get it out to anybody who wasn't on this call from your team. Really, really important. The other thing I want to talk about, of course, we have 8 different grids. I talk about this all the time. You can be in as many or as few of these grids as you want to be in. If you're in the $40 grid, you're going to get $20 donations. If you're in the $80 grid, you can get $40 donations all the way up the ladder. Decide how many of these separate donation streams you want to be a part of, because it's real important you position yourself properly with what works for your situation so that you can maximize the benefits from your effort. You want to stay ahead of your team in the grid levels that you're in, because otherwise, if they come in a higher grid level, they're going to jump past you for that one time on that grid. You're going to do the work. You're going to plug in the system. You want to make sure that you're getting fully rewarded for it. Next thing I want to talk about is payment methods. Okay, real important here as well. You got to have a bunch of payment methods set up. Make it easy for people to donate to you. Make it easy for you to donate to other people. Okay, you can see all the different ones, and if you've got some that aren't in there, you can see, for example, here in the other payment methods, you can put in as many as you want. Cash App, I can't even read it. Google Pay, Apple Pay, Zelle, Venmo. There's all kinds of different ones, and we've got a great one we're going to be announcing this week as well, which is really going to help people out. So make sure you've got your payment methods set up. One last announcement. We're doing 2 big calls this week. These are going to be some fantastic update calls. You can see the dates. This will be coming out where? In your email and in your unread messages. You want to be getting all your team. You want to be getting all your prospects onto these calls so they can see the big vision of what we have. So with that, Joe, any last words of advice before we wrap up the call?
Yeah, I just want to say one thing. When we talk about commitment, I'm going to go back to commitment real quick. When you're sorting people out and they're interested, they're going to ask you one question. How many grids are you in? How committed are you? See, when I get involved in anything, I'm all in. And what I'm trying to say, guys, is do the best that you can. Have trust, have faith in what you're doing, because that will impact your business in a huge way. Confidence, commitment will draw people towards you. Come in as many grids as you can. And I'm not here to upsell you. I'm just telling you psychologically, people will want to work with you, will want to be with you, will look at you as the leader. Remember this is huge. Commitment means everything. It's not just committing and calling so many people a day. It's committing all the way through. Focusing on your back office, looking at your messages, really understanding the back office, everything. That's commitment. People really appreciate that, and it starts to vibrate through you. And again, it's not something that is said, it's something that people can feel from you. And this is a huge thing. So if you guys are some people come in, they're kind of tippy-toeing in, it's really hard to bring people in because they sense your energy that you're not all in. When you're all in, guess what happens? Your whole world changes. Believe me when I tell you this, your whole world will change 100%. You will never have money issues again in your life. And I'm telling you this, I've lived this myself. And so has John. Thanks, John. I appreciate you. Have a great day, guys.
All right. Thanks, Joel. All I can say is use the simple things we shared with you here today and hit this with urgency, because there's a simple fact. Massive action always produces massive results. One more time, massive action always produces massive results. So with that, let's wrap up the call. Let's keep it simple. Let's always think global. Let's use the tools and let's go impact some people. Have fun, everybody. Thanks for being on the call.